Robert Kachenko with a strike as well. That'll be a bit of a relief for Jimmy Canaridis to get those points on his back.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, as you said last week, there was a run of games there for Monero that sort of stemmed back from last year where they were struggling to get a win. I think it was 1 in 8. So, yeah, good result for them. And I suppose for Yuli De Silva, it's a chance for him to regroup and have a look at where they do find a goal.
Yeah, 4 games without a goal for them now. That run stretching to 424 minutes, and it's something that will weigh heavily on them, I guess, throughout the week until they can actually find that elusive breakthrough. Yeah,
that's going to be difficult, you know, just to get the players up and going again, because especially with the games that they face in the upcoming weeks. You know, he's brought in some new players. He's brought in some signings during the week as well. And there were some signs there yesterday at times where they started off quite brightly, but yeah, to get a result in the next few weeks is looking a pretty tall order at the moment.
And they couldn't catch a break either, could they? I mean, there was the goal, the first one, that a great bit of defending. It rebounds off the bar and straight back to the striker, Ahmed Shaibu.
Yeah, and if Evan doesn't make the double save at 1-0, then you know they're back in at half time and regrouping at 1-1 and a bit of momentum.
We're going to start this game very shortly. Let's have a look at the two sides. Tuggeranong United, unsurprisingly, remain unchanged from the side that won 2-0 here last week against Woden Western with a brace of goals from Harry Truman. They line up with a 4-1-2-3 formation with Mitch Stevens' team. Jacob Wiseman in goal, Sean Kiddie, Regan Walsh, Harrison Bunell and Sam Smith across the back. Cam Doherty as the holder with Jamie Viencombe and Ewan Peterkin in front. And a front three of John O'Turak out on the right, Harry Truman on the left and Marco Gaia through the middle.
Interesting front lineup. Harry Truman, who's scored all the goals for Tuggeranong this year, on the wing, but Marco Gaia being deployed at the centre forward position is very interesting to see how he goes. Normally a left back or a left-sided midfielder to be playing in that number 9 role. It'll be setting the cat amongst the pigeons, I would suggest, Ross.
And a very experienced bench for Tuggeranong. Every player apart from sub-keeper James Benevento has played over 40 NPL matches. Daniel Fulton, Eddie Coggan, Andrew Slavic and Daniel Felici as well. And it makes a difference with, Mitch was saying, 2:35 kickoff. Under 23 switched with first grade. He's got 4 fresh subs as well.
There you go. And the 4 fresh subs that he does have would pretty much almost get a role in most NPL teams here in Canberra.
Belconnen United, there's one change for them. Darren Bailey suspended after being sent off against Gungahlin United. Bailey Toscan, his replacement at left back, 4-4-2 for Paul McCaw. Jordan Thurtell in goal. Max Mellick, Nathan Curley, Isaac Clements and Toscan across a young-looking back 4. Adrian McCaw, Dustin Wells, Luca McCaw and Liam Mickle on paper in midfield. Kofi Danning and Lucas Flores, 3 from 3 for him up front. Yeah, big role there for both Jordan Thurtell and Isaac Clements around 3 younger guys there in the back 4. They'll have to show a lot of leadership there, and I'd suggest they'll both have sore throats by the end of the game just talking through their troops. By contrast, only 12 NPL appearances between the 4 substitutes named for Belconnen United today. John O'Lear with the majority of them with 7. Ethan Stamatis, Reece Flissinger, the goalkeeper, and Keegan Vucetic in line for a debut if he comes off the bench. Yeah, very young bench there, but some of those boys have now had a bit of a taste for first grade, and like Stamatis and I think it was John O'Lear, both were in that victory against Olympic, so they've proven that they can handle themselves at this level. Big raps there for Keegan Vucic to get into the squad and get his name on the bench in the first time for first grade. Well, players are all ready to go. Now we're joined by our match officials, Alex McConaughey in the middle, Darren Gledel and Blake Baldwin. Alex McConaughey's shown 2 red cards this season. Do you think he gives one to the linesman for wearing a beanie? Well, it is cold. It's colder here today than it was yesterday, and unfortunately the weather seemed to be turning a little bit on us. We did have some blue skies momentarily, and the rain was threatening to perhaps stay away, but it's starting to drizzle. 2 Captain's Cup. Now, Russ, just before we start, now we've got a running bet sort of thing going that every time I say we in reference to Canberra Olympic, I owe you a coffee. And I did get one today. Thank you very much for that. Today. Now, I'm gonna match this now because I've been noticing your calls lately. Every time you don't refer to Canberra Croatia as Canberra Croatia, and you call them Deacon or Canberra FC, that's a coffee for me. Oh mate, that sounds fair. I mean, I could be out of pocket by quite a lot by the end of the season. I still do it. I still call them. I've been doing it on a podcast as well. It's just a name change. You will get there eventually. I think that's a fair swap, to be honest. I told you you'd like that one. Yeah, they're not playing today, so hopefully I'm okay. I have written them down as Canberra Croatia on my sheet, so hopefully, fingers crossed, I do mention them that way next. If I do mention them, Otherwise, I'll be off buying new coffee. Bit of wind from right to left across this field. Feels like snow as well, doesn't it? Feels like.
Interesting that Tuggeranong are loading up this right-hand side for the kickoff. You can expect this ball to be... you watch the ball go to the left.
It's going to come straight back to them anyway with this wind, probably. We're just waiting to kick off then. Tuggeranong in the green and white, attacking the goal to right. This is their home game.
Belconnen haven't adjusted, though, just yet. They're only just pulling Luca McCaw over this side now. This
is something I've seen Tottenham Hotspur do a lot. Cam Doherty launches it forwards.
Yeah, I don't watch Tottenham that often.
Doesn't work for them. Peterkin sends it towards Truman. Statement of intent, though. Gets some numbers forward straight away. Puts the pressure on Belconnen United. Here's Flores. He's had a great start to life as an NPL regular.
We get the feeling it's going to be a very tight match for us, so I don't think there's going to be much in this at all. And I don't think there's going to be too many goals in it either.
Kofi Danning. Touch for Bailey Toscan. And here's Isaac Clements, who's the old head in the back four today. A lot of onus on him to guide the young back four around the park. And you have John Thurtell in goal, it helps as well. Good communicator. Good win that from McCaw.
Very strong challenge there against John O'Tarek. Big unit there, midfield there for Tuggeranong.
Dustin Wells. Chance for Leon Mickle to run at the defence early on. Flores goes down under the challenge, and this is prime territory for Dustin Wells or Kofi Danning.
I think it's about as quick as I've seen Kofi go, all warm up.
Fancies this one, doesn't he? Scored one goal this season. It was the season opener against Canberra Olympico O'Connor.
Oh, he's walked away.
He has. He's left it for Liam Mickle's left foot.
It says a lot about Kofi, doesn't it? He's played at the highest level here in Australia and played overseas and under 23s Australian, Socceroo and a list, just a great CV, but yet a young guy stands over the ball who fancies it and he moves away.
There is Mickle, swings, it's taking a deflection and it wasn't too far away. I think Jacob Wiseman was a little bit concerned.
Yeah, as soon as you get a deflection of those free kicks, it's just obviously anything can happen. But yeah, well struck. It looked like a good height too, so.
Well, Flores will take the corner. Belconnen loaded everyone towards the far post. What's the delivery like? It's a good one towards the near post, and it needed to be nodded clear. One back by Flores. As McCaw swings it in, and there's an opportunity here for Clements. Didn't quite find it.
Wonderful ball there from Luke and McCaw.
Good nodded clear there by Harrison Bunell, though, the youngster at the back. He started life in the Premier League well as also.
Yeah, I know you've got some raps on him as well from the Olympic game. He's done a good job there. I think that's probably one area that Tuggeranong may have a slight advantage over Belconnen is around the set pieces. They do have a reasonably tall and physically strong side, so those deliveries from people like Regan Walsh are really important today.
Truman tried to get a touch, but Wells is there. It's a chance for Adrian McCaw. It's for Danning. It was good tracking back by Jamie Vinkham. Two decent goalkeepers at both ends of the park today. Will need to be on their toes. Comes up towards Chirek, who's playing on this wide right role. Walsh sends it through the deflection, helps it on its way to Gaia. Sits up nicely for him. He's bundled off the ball well by Max Mellick, who can bring it clear. Sat up for a moment for Gaia there, thought he might unleash one.
I think because it's sat out on his right foot, predominantly a left-footed player. He's got a very good left foot. And he's obviously been around for a few years now too, Marco Gaia.
Yeah, this is 86th NPL match.
Yeah.
10 goals to his name.
We haven't mentioned Belconnen's new strip today.
No, the dark strip. It looks it's quite good, isn't it?
I like it, yeah.
Something a bit different for their 50th anniversary this year. Tactically, John Chirek on the right. Is a physical matchup for Bailey Toscan, isn't he?
That would have been interesting if the other Bailey, his namesake, would have played today. Doesn't mind the the old physical stuff.
He is here.
Darren Bailey, yeah.
Did bring his dog with him. Into the venue. The Baileys usually tune in overseas as well. I believe we've got some viewers from Serbia tuning in today as well, waiting to see if Keegan Vucetic gets on the field. Ball forward by Walsh. Clements completes that clearance. The McCaws combine. Toscan looks at Bailey. Dunning got in there ahead of Cam Doherty, and that should be offside against Luca McCaw.
Noticed that quite a bit though this season is the link up between Kofi and Dusty. Two of the more senior players, obviously, not just in the Belconnen side but in the whole competition. And it sort of goes without saying that the senior players are generally going to go looking for their own senior players more often than not. But that's a very good link up between those two.
Cam Doherty edging his way towards 100 NPL appearances, number 97 today for him.
Still no goals?
Still no goals. Did mention that to him before. It's not really his repertoire, is it? Here's Harry Truman. He's not struggled. He's got 3 and 3.
He is. He's scoring for fun.
Two of the leading goal scorers in the NPL on the field today, and they're both teenagers, Flores and Truman.
Yeah, and good luck to them. And I think probably two coaches that do that better than a lot in the competition is that they do blood the youngsters. They do give them the confidence to go out there and express themselves and make a good fist of their opportunities, and they pay dividends.
It's a corner for Belconnen. Leon Mickle will take. Clements is on the edge of the penalty area. Flores in and around the penalty spot. Danning in there too. This one's going to swirl towards the far post. Bit too much on it though, and Clements couldn't get a header goalwards.
Interesting though, even that from that corner, Tuggeranong had pretty much every player within 30 metres of their goal. So even if they do win the header or they do win possession, there's no outlet to play out on halfway or anyone that can hold the ball up and wait for support. And the interesting thing is the amount of times you can actually hit a team on the break from their own corners. If you can do it quickly and you've got the confidence to actually keep one or two players forward, it can be an effective attacking move too.
Well, Tuggeranong United's record against Belconnen in the NPL since it went national in 2013 has been nothing short of atrocious. They've only won twice in 15 matches against the Blue Devils. And they've only won once at home in 8 games against Belconnen in NPL history since NPL started, as I said, in 2013. That was last year, though, when they had a 3-0 win at Hawker against Belconnen. A couple for Isaiah Heggie and Regan Walsh as well on the score sheet.
Yeah, just a false touch there from Bailey at the back. He's given away a corner. This is interesting.
First chance.
And the way that Tuggeranong set up their corners, have a look. They're all one straight line at the top of the box and then run into position.
Doherty will put it to the near post. Walsh half dummied in, and he's going to get another chance here, Cam Doherty.
And here's a difference as well from Belconnen. They've got Kofi one-on-one up top. That ball does get out to Kofi. You got the likes of Flores running off him. It could be dangerous.
Doherty will be looking for a better delivery this time, and it looks like a better one as well towards where Churek was. Didn't quite fall for the big winger. Vinkham picks up the pieces. Tries to get away from McCaw. Not much in support though for Jamie Vinkham at the moment. Seems to do it all on his own. He's done very well as well. Good cut back. And there was no one there.
He was unlucky there because there was a slip in the Belconnen box from the defender. And Marco Guy had pretty much overrun that. It could have been a big chance there for Tuggeranong.
As I said, Belconnen have the wood over Tuggeranong. They did win the first 11 meetings between the sides in NPL. Mitch Stevens did say beforehand, though, that Tuggeranong's 2 wins over Belconnen have both come under his watch.
How many losses is that with the 2 wins?
There's 15 for Tuggeranong. 15 games. Tuggeranong won 2.
Okay.
And both of them under Mitch Stevens' stewardship.
He's done well.
He also reminded us that he beat the Frank Keisha inspired side.
Yeah,
was it you reminded him, was it?
Yeah. I think he's got a tattoo on his arm.
He did enjoy that.
probably enjoyed it more than what Wiseman's doing to him right now.
Well, that was interesting piece of keeping.
And he's done well, Marco Guy, to hold that ball up.
Here's Peterkin. Tried to keep it in play. The signing from ANU. And Sean Kitty with the throw. Can throw it a long way, Sean Kitty. Bit too long. Turek got a touch on it, but that's easy for Jordan Thurtell. Conceded 3 last week against Gangala and really couldn't do an awful lot about any of them.
No, and arguably, the best keeper in the competition, to be honest. Not just with his shot stopping, but also with his feet. I think everyone in this competition has got a lot of time for Jordan Thurtell. They all know that what he brings to the table.
It's Marco Guy who went down. Dunning has it. There's a little bit off the ball there.
There's a lot off the ball there, actually.
Interesting to see if Alex McConaughey comes back to revisit it or whether he lets it go. It's Cam Doherty and was it Max Mellick? Having a little come together. Is Curley. Well, whatever happened with Mellick there, Doherty wasn't best pleased, was he?
No.
And it's out of play now and looks like they're just going to let it go.
I think just a word on the run here from
Good
Alex
refereeing, actually.
To Cam.
Took a risk there, Cam Doherty, raising their hands.
But he's not one that usually is into that sort of style. Yes, he's not one that would react unless something has happened. So, yeah, interesting. Because Marco Guy was down for a little bit too, injured, and it all came from when he got back up.
It's a free kick for Tuggeranong here, and a chance for them to load the penalty area with some green and white shirts. If Cam Doherty does feel hard done by, he can exact some sort of retribution now with this free kick. Just to lift it into the penalty area. Plenty of Tuggeranong shirts forward, and that's a decent looking ball. Thurtell's coming for it under pressure and does really well, the keeper. Not only that, gets Belconnen straight away on the attack. Asked a lot of Kofi Danning that there.
Yeah, but exactly what we were saying about Thurtell in a nutshell. He's come out, claimed that, dominated his box, and the delivery there to Kofi, it's hit him sort of waist high and halfway.
Doherty's ball forward. Nice touch, Gaia. Truman chasing. Clements across to Shadow. Ball across the face of the penalty area from Truman. Even contest early on.
Yeah, I was just thinking that myself, Russ.
No real chances of note as yet. No real indication of where the points might end up. If you're a betting man, you probably won't put your money on a draw. Tuggeranong haven't drawn a league match since Saturday the 7th of July 2018 against Woden Western. Here, in fact, in a 1-1 draw.
I know they've come pretty close to drawing against Olympic a few times. We've had to pull it out a few times. I think last year Kofi Danning scored a cracker out at Canberra, and then I think the year before Dom Jumpalo hit a volley from a ball that came out from a header, from a corner. It's just, you wouldn't seen a ball hit any cleaner ever in your life. It was just nestled itself top corner when we won 4-3. So they're not a big drawing team, obviously.
Well, that one's into the stands. Slice clearance from Sean Kitty. You're watching live football on Bar TV Sports, home of grassroots football in Australia. If you're watching from around Australia, welcome. Game's on in Canberra, even though the weather's been pretty ordinary. The synthetic turf in Melrose. This is a Tuggeranong United home game. This isn't their venue. You can tell that when you see the goals and your shots, the black and white nets there, the Woden Western Wanderers home grounds.
Yeah, for those watching outside of Canberra, you've got Tuggeranong, who are deep south, and Belconnen, which are pretty much deep north.
The north-south divide.
Separated by the lake. That means a lot in Canberra.
It does, the north-south divide. I think. Are you north-south? You're in the middle somewhere, aren't you, Frank? Would you class yourself as south, or would you class yourself in?
Yeah, close by.
Well, Belconnen have a corner again.
Which was always fun when I was coaching Olympic, who are north.
Mickle with the delivery into the area. It's going to fall out here. And Wells tries something spectacular with the right foot. Got that in his locker, of course.
he so does. He's one of the few players here in Canberra that's got A-League experience. He played for Wellington. Quality player. He's won ACT Player of the Year a number of times in a row. He hasn't had his scoring boots on, though, this year.
Had a spell at Sydney FC as well, didn't he? He's not found the target yet this year. Does have 139 goals to his name, though, so we'll forgive him that. Mr. Penalty.
I was about to say, I'm glad you said it, so he doesn't pick on me, but... everything seems to have gone over this year. You watch him score a cracker in the second half.
Teed it up. Adrian McCall with the throw. Doherty with a cunning piece of defending. There's Toscan with a foot in. Challenge between Truman and Wells. Peterkin finds Gaia. Change of direction to find Kiddy. United patient in the build-up. Peterkin, nice touch to Kiddy, but there's McCall winning it back and looking for Luca Flores, and it was on there, that ball down the channel, and it wasn't quite directed where McCall wanted it.
And it needs to be almost pinpoint and synthetic, Russ. Anything that sort of goes away from you just keeps on running away. And there was a possible 2v1 there for Belconnen.
Toscan goes in well to win the ball ahead of John O'Churrick. Kind of lost possession for a second there. Started well though, Bailey Toscan.
Yeah, probably just need to look up there and just, if you can see Kofi one-on-one, you just play his feet. And he'll bring everyone else into the game, unless he does something special himself. But probably just a little bit conservative there from the youngster.
That's understandable. His first start of the season and his third NPL match overall. 16 minutes in, no score. Walsh on the back of Danning. That's a fairly simple decision for Alex McConaughey, I think. Two-handed leap, and it's a chance here for Wells to deliver something. Isaac Clements has gone forward again. I notice he's left Nathan Curley back every single free kick at the moment. He's taken seniority.
Yes. Yeah,
Jog forward. You've got me covered, mate.
Stay here. Don't move.
What can Wells deliver? Chance for him to drop something in that danger area where keepers hate, just outside that 6-yard box. And that's pretty much where it's going. Walsh, though, nods it clear. Wells with a second chance. Trot on the ball, though. Allowed Cam Doherty to make the tackle. Flores with the throw. Adrian McCaw delivers in. Walsh cleared. And up in the air from Gaia. He's quite windy out there as well.
Sort of fluctuating a bit. I thought Tuggeranong were kicking, I don't know.
It's swirling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Making it a bit difficult sometimes. Ball from Luca McCaw. Finds Max Mellick. Mickle outside him and he uses the winger. Danning to feet and snapping in with the challenge straight away with Doherty. There's a chance for Truman to bring it clear. Not much in support for Harry Truman, so has to go on his own. Sensibly holds it up and brings others into play. Sean Kiddy being the preferred option on this right side. Harrison Bunell. It's very comfortable in this Tuggeranong back four now. Seems to have secured the centre-back spot alongside Regan Walsh, the youngster. They think big things of this young boy here. It's a touch from Doherty and he's been robbed by Dustin Wells. Now here's a chance for Belconnen. Kofi Danning. Flag stays down. Real opportunity. Danning one-on-one. Chance for Flores. Good defending from Bunell. Saves it on the line.
You can see that developing. The longer Tuggeranong played the ball long across the back line, the more you could see that opening up in midfield for them and where they were getting pressured into making a mistake. As soon as that happened, there was the opportunity.
Danning stayed down afterwards.
I don't know if he's injured, Russ. I'm just thinking he's probably lamenting why he tried to pass instead of shoot, to be honest. Very unselfish player, Kofi. We know,
Mickle with the corner, swings it in. Chance here, off the crossbar. Is it in? It might be now. Wells was going in there too, and Clements was there. And somehow Wiseman kept it out. It's a great save.
Yeah, if he managed to keep that out, I thought it might have crossed the line, but that's an amazing save.
Was it Adrian McCaw's header?
I thought it was...
I'm not sure who got on the end of it.
I think it was number 12, Adrian McCaw.
Super save, one-handed from Wiseman onto the crossbar. Somehow the rebound looked certain to go in from Clements following up. but first real chance. And it fell to those in
pretty
blue.
much 2 in a row. Leading up to the corner, Kofi Danning's had an opportunity to pull the trigger. He's tried to cross it through to Luca Flores for the tap-in, and that got cut out. And then obviously from the corner, Adrian Maycor's got his head to that cross, and a wonderful, wonderful save.
It's a free kick to Belconnen. Challenge from Sam Smith. He's pulled up. We talked earlier about John Thurtell being possibly the best keeper in Canberra, you mentioned, and Jacob Wiseman putting his hand up, literally, in that sense.
Yeah, but Russ, I still talk to Rory a fair bit, so I've just got to be careful what I say. So.
We do have some good keepers, don't we? Rory Larkin's around, and we saw Evan Alexandra Ridley make a great double save yesterday.
There you go. You've got Evan there, you got Rory there. To be honest, the big bloke will probably ring me soon and say, have you forgotten about me? Even though his Achilles is gone.
The whistle's gone here, and what's the referee giving? A free kick right on the edge of the penalty area for a high foot, I think. Jacob Cole down at the Tigers as well. Josh Laguda at Gungahlin. There's a fair few. Yeah, Big Ange, we haven't seen him for a while. This is an opportunity. Kofi Danning right on the apex of the penalty area here.
And you'd think he might even have a strike from here, because otherwise it would have been Dusty trying to put a ball like he did only a few minutes ago, top of the 6-yard box.
Well, Wiseman's going to set the wall up, isn't he? And you know that Danny's got the ability to go over. I think he had a little glance at the near post. He tried to go in it, smashed it into Kitty. Stood strong for that one.
To be perfectly honest, I think Sean Kitty would have preferred he did go over the wall.
It was a sore one for Sean Kitty. I think he's still feeling it.
Yep. Evidence is definitely showing that he's still feeling it.
McCaw, that was Luca McCaw, and it's a corner, and he's sucking the big ones in, Sean Kitty, at the moment. Well, if you're not going to score, then take out one of the opposition. Is that the way it goes, Frank?
No comment.
Flores with the corner from this side.
They'd want to tighten up on what they did last time in defence there, Tuggeranong.
Well, there's the ball in there again. Clements won it. Not a clean header, though. But once more, a warning. Did mention at the other end, Tuggeranong pretty good in the air at set pieces. Struggling defensively.
Yeah, and Mitch will be talking about that, I'm sure, next time he gets a chance to talk to his troops around, not giving away silly free kicks or needless free kicks in and around the edge of the box. The one that Regan gave away on Kofi. Kofi's got his back to goal. He's not going anywhere. Just take your hands out of his back and just try to hold him up. But obviously, smarten up on your defending around corners.
Halfway through the first half here, live on Bar TV Sports from Melrose Synthetic. NPL round 4 in the nation's capital. It's Tuggeranong United 0, Belconnen United 0.
Good little period of dominance here from Belconnen too. Probably about the last 5 or 6 minutes, they've just been well on top.
Is Curley. Finds Malik. Forward to Mickle. 3 Tuggeranong shirts around him though, rob him of possession. Sam Smith has it, but Mickle wins it back. A chance to run at the Tuggeranong defence. He's still going, Leo Mickle. Pass 2 and then is brought down. And this might be the first yellow card of the afternoon as well.
Yeah, not too many questions about that one. But, if you're Mitch now, you'd probably be talking to Sam Smith about losing the ball up around halfway when you're playing in your back four. You really can't afford to be giving a ball away or getting caught in possession. So, they're the 2 opportunities that Belconnen have really created would come from Tuggeranong mistakes, which is normal. It's not an indictment on anyone. It's just one of those things that if you can minimise your mistakes.
Free kick on the other side of the field from almost the exact same position that Danning had one. Noticeably Sean Kitty not in the wall this time. Luca Flores on the far post. He's going to take this free kick. Swings it in. There's a low trajectory on it. Cluster of bodies bouncing around. McCaw's there. Walsh tries to get it away and smacks it clear. Was caught a bit late and will win the free kick.
And interesting, isn't it? That's the 4th free kick taker that Belconnen have had in and around the box. They've had Wells, they've had Kofi now, they've had Flores, and is it Mickle?
Mickle as
for
well.
The side with the left foot. I would have thought the left foot would have been brought into play on that one.
Looking ahead to next week, live football on Bar TV Sports. Saturday afternoon, we're scheduled to be at the Riverside Stadium. Belconnen United versus Monero Panthers. 3 o'clock kick-off that one. Game originally scheduled as a Belconnen home game has been switched for that one. And then on Sunday afternoon, we're scheduled to be at Canberra 2, Tuggeranong United versus Gungahlin United. But the weather may well intervene again between now and then, so who knows where we'll be, Frank?
Yeah, the chances are you won't be at Canberra 2.
Might well be back here again.
Yeah.
Other fixtures next weekend, Wellington Western FC versus Canberra Croatia, and Canberra Olympic versus Tigers FC at O'Connor.
Yep, and in a shortened season, I think every game's big, isn't it?
Huge matches, and as the table starts to sort itself out, at the moment, a Tuggeranong win today in 6 in a 5 doesn't go. 6 in a 4 doesn't go, does it? McCall gets away from Kitty, pulls it back towards Danning. Opportunity for Kofi Danning, finds Leo Mickle, didn't sit up for him. First touch just let him down. And
I was half expecting Kofi to turn and hit that. But yeah, Adrian Maycall rolled. Sean Kitty got the wrong side of him for the defender, and good ball into Kofi Danning.
Pressure still on from Belconnen. Danning looks to turn, but I think he's used his hand there, and a free kick is given. Yeah, there's only 7 rounds, of course, before we crown a pseudo-champion, I guess you'd call them, in this short season before we break top 4 and bottom 4, and there isn't much between them, and there's some big fixtures coming up too.
And conservatively, you could probably have 2 teams that remain undefeated, and one of them isn't going to win the league.
Here's Gaia driving at the heart of the defence. Chance on the left foot for Marco Gaia, of course, forces Jordan Thurtell into the stop. First time we've seen the Belco keeper worked this afternoon. Doherty looks to slide it through. Truman took it down well. Pressure's on here. Turek was there. Curley was dawdling momentarily. Truman wins it back. Tuggeranong's turn to start to exert some pressure. Good chance up for Gaia.
Yeah, it was on his left foot as well. I mean, Jordan Thurtell's made a save that you expect him to make. So, yeah, it's opening up a little bit now. And the rain's starting to come.
Turek. Well, we didn't expect to get through full 90 minutes without any rain this weekend. Quite as heavy as yesterday. My garden looks like a swamp at the moment. Drainage as good as Canberra too. Pinkham finds Kitty. Obviously got the same gardeners round when they're landscapers.
Give Rory Larkin a call. His little business there is thriving. Does a lot of home repairs and gardening and things like that. If he can bother to give you a call back and give you a quote, that is. How you going, Rory?
Did he pay you for that advertisement? Did he? It's Bunell playing it forward to Kitty. And Toscan's robbed him. And here's a chance of Belconnen. If Toscan could swing it across, Bunell, though, stood firm. Dustin Wells picks it up. And his turn to drive at the heart of the Tuggeranong defence. Look for the 1-2 with McCall. Didn't quite come off with Adrian McCall there. And there's a bit of a coming together between Peterkin and Vierkum. Truman brings it away. Marco Gaia for Tuggeranong. Couple up in this attack. It opens up for Gaia on that left foot again. Clements' his shadow. He's only got Turek in the middle, and Truman was waiting on the far post, and Toscan defended well.
Good few minutes there for Toscan.
He started well, hasn't he? I've been quite impressed by the fact that he's been called into action today for Darren Bailey, and might be keeping Darren Bailey out of the lineup if he carries on like this.
Wouldn't go so far to say that, but I'll tell you what, he's definitely sticking his hand up to be included again next week, even if Bailey is back, whether that's on at the left back position or somewhere else. But that's a good problem to have if you're Paul Maycall.
I'm sure Darren Bailey will tell us he can play up front if he needs to. Peterkin goes through, gets a free kick. Chance for Tuggeranong to send some bodies forward again. Mitch Stevens would have been relieved to get their first win of the season under their belt here last week.
Yeah, and for every coach in any grade, getting that first win, getting that first goal, it's a battle, and you're relieved when you do get it.
No promotion and relegation, of course, this year, so the teams at the bottom are safe for this season. Walsh with the free kick in towards where Peterkin was. Bunell's up there as well. Clements is going to clear this, but it's been charged down. Bunell sends it across goal.
Important touch for Thurtell.
Well, Harry Truman was lurking just behind, wasn't he? Looking for another goal.
He finds himself in good positions, Truman.
Just takes up those natural striking positions, doesn't he?
Yeah, and it's interesting, Russ, we're talking about no promotion relegation. It's an opportunity for coaches to blood youngsters this year. Yeah, the issue is, like, you blood youngsters and then you're basically putting them on show for everybody else to have a look as well.
In the shop window. Hopefully they feel that they get a bit of loyalty out of these boys for giving them their chance.
You hope so. I absolutely hope so, but doesn't always work out like that.
Not in Canberra, where it's a very small place. We've mentioned this before plenty of times in commentary. It's quite easy to move from one club to another. It's not really asking you to travel too far. Toscan will slip from Gaia, but the pass is picked off by Vinkum. Nice little back heel to find Gaia. Peterkin in support. Gaia wants a return, but Curley was there. Toscan. Jamie Vinkum's shown some good energy in the first half hour. Toscan brings it forwards. Danning's gone a bit too early, and he's offside. And, well, Alex McConaughey has waved away the flag, suggested that perhaps the defender played at the ball, so under those new rules, here's Danning. This will be controversial for Tuggeranong. In towards where the keeper is. It's lost. Flores was there, and the whistle's gone, and a whole gamut of things went on there. There was a collision between three United players, and when it came to Flores, it looked like he was going to get a tap in, but the foul had been given, and Cam Doherty asking the question about the flag.
Yeah, and the whole time that was going ahead, I was sort of holding my breath thinking, if Belconnen score here, they're going to blow up. Tuggeranong and Mitch are just going to blow right up. We saw it, Kofi definitely was offside to start off with. Whether or not he's overruled that because it did hit the defender on the way through.
Well, if the defender plays it, is that they generally say he's not offside now? Is that the interpretation you're making of that?
I guarantee you I'm probably going to get a text in the next 5 minutes that tells me what it is. But I'd be blowing up if it was me.
It does seem it's very subjective about whether he's played at it properly or not, or whether it's just come off his head. But I guess that's what Alice McCulloch's done. And luckily for Tuggeranong United, nothing came of that. Another talking point anyway. Wiseman, see how that holds up in the wind a bit here.
And if Tuggeranong can hold out till half time, then they do get the wind in that second half. I'm sure Mitch will be mentioning that a lot, especially people like Regan Walsh in the side.
Wells finds Danning. Don't see many 0-0 draws in Canberra, do we? It's not really a result that often pops up. Good turn from Flores. Here he is again, dancing feet to get into the penalty area. Still going, Flores fires it across goal, defended well by Sean Kiddie, needed to be. Comes out for Toscan, who lines one up, and Vinkum blocks it. I mean, I saw one in the face for him as well. Another chance for Belconnen.
Important block though, that seemed to be, heading goalwards. But even Luca Flores, continuing on his good form, really clever with his feet. Could have easily gone down and would have made an interesting call there for McConaughey as the referee.
Important block for Kiddie as well, otherwise there was a tap in for Adrian McCaw, stood behind him. Here is Kiddie looking to put it through towards Jamie Vinkum, who's onside here. If he can keep this in, chance for Tuggeranong. Churek in the middle, the only target. Good fist away from Thurtell, important touch again. Truman recovers. Doherty's touch. Churek is offside. But opening up a little bit, Frank, in the 34 minutes gone.
Good spell there for both teams. Vinico's had a really good 5-6 minutes there, putting himself about. Started off with probably getting himself a bit of confidence, that little back heel against Dustin Wells.
No Michael Tarazi, of course, today for Belconnen. No Taylor Beaton, who's been out all season. Jacob Gardner also unavailable. Darren Bailey suspended. Zach Mabry injured. Might be back next week, he says. Phil Bourgeau unavailable as well. So a litany of names there.
Players out. Yeah, young Gardner's interesting one for me. I've got big raps on him.
He was excellent last season, wasn't he? Had a
he
really good.
Was, yeah.
Stepped up well, breakthrough year.
Yeah, and both him and Sebi Woods from Olympic both went to Celtic for some training, and both did pretty well from what I understand.
Guy did well then in that narrow little gap. Doherty sends Sam Smith on his way. Looks for Truman. Peterkin in support. Couldn't return the pass to Truman.
Yeah, that's a few passes he's put astray in his first half.
Usually a neat and tidy player as well, Ewan Peterkin, signed from ANU in the off-season. Big part of their success last year. Step forward again from Toscan. Adrian McCaw can't keep that in play there.
And that's that synthetic surface. So again, if it just starts running, it's almost like you're just chasing a ball downhill constantly. Although this particular synthetic is a little bit longer than, say, the one at the Institute and at Hawker. It just seems to hold up a little bit more. Be interesting to see how these Blues pull up after today as well.
Yeah, it can be a bit tough on the old muscles.
It definitely is.
Wells looking to switch play towards Mickle. Asked a lot again. You can see his prime example right there, Frank, as it skips away off the surface. Still await the first goal here.
Yeah, it's interesting, just going back to a point you made a bit before, Russ, about how close proximity everyone is in Canberra. I think Thursday nights out at the Institute, you have Tigers, Olympic and Gungahlin basically training on pitches next door to each other.
And we were out there the other week, Tuggeranong training out there at the moment as well.
Okay, there you go.
They have us one session a week on that field. That's a free kick. Flores has lost a boot. And when we were out there for Tuggeranong Olympic, there was the Tigers and Gungahlin on the fields next door to each other, weren't they?
Exactly. And usually on a Thursday night, you'd see Olympic out there as well.
Toe from Peterkin. Well, if you did want to chat to an opposition player, you wouldn't have to go very far, would you? And of course, being such a small city in numbers, everybody knows everybody anyway, so it's not a surprise to see the movement.
Yeah, and there's been some signings, I believe, during the week as well, Russ. Some players coming back from interstate. We saw Mate Barisic line up for Woden 2 weeks ago and start yesterday. Don't think we've got a transfer window in place this year.
Doesn't seem to be, does there?
No, and I guess, just thinking about it, just the effect it has on some of these younger players coming through that we do bring in a lot of these guys from interstate, which probably is better for the competition. But I suppose my case is my point is around that 5 substitutions that is pretty much held everywhere else. It makes it hard for these young guys to get a taste, especially with other players coming back from interstate.
Guy's flick to Chirek, the return pass, and Marco Guy is offside. Tuggeranong without Brandon Cashmore today. Nick Felici also not in the squad. Toscan. Flick from Adrian McCaw. Clements. Good read by Smith. Guy has touched, but he's only found Melik. Dustin Wells. Mickle. Nathan Kearley. To pick a ball towards McCaw. Nice flick that from Adrian McCaw. Toscan swings it in towards Kofi Danning, who got goal the right side of Oregon Walsh for a moment.
He peeled off pretty cleverly there, Kofi.
Bit disappointing, isn't he? You can see that once he's made the room either side, the other side of Oregon Walsh, that he didn't get any sort of contact on the football.
Yeah, and just the facial expressions of Kofi Danning. You can tell what he's thinking all the time. He's disappointed. You can see, but I tell you what, when he's happy, he's big smile.
Well, another player that's played at the A-League level as well, and you could forgive him sometimes for coming back and perhaps just taking it a bit easy, but he doesn't play like that, does he? It's not in his nature.
No, he loves it. No, he's a really good leader. Even when we had him at Olympic, we had some senior players, but some of the leadership that he showed was outstanding.
Clements back to Thurtell, did well there, the keeper. Nice pass too to find Toscan. Flores left that a bit short. Sean Kiddie with the challenge.
Been impressed with Toscan.
A real bright spark in this first half. In a lot of space down this left-hand side. Ball forward and Doherty wins the header. Flores challenging with Bunel. Gets away from him here, Luca Flores. Just cut it back across goal. Everyone on the back foot. And Kitty got rid of it. Here's Chirek. Fairly peripheral figure in the early stages, hasn't he been? Jono Chirek, and that's a bit loose. And here's McCaw finding Danning. Flores used the body. Mickle finds him. Not many up, though, in blue shirts. Mickle to Adrian McCaw. Sorry, Luca McCaw. Flores wide. Everyone back in the Tuggeranong shirt now. So Belconnen go back to start again. And Clements has left that a lot to do for Nathan Curley there, wasn't he? Just let that roll on this surface, and you can't do that. And the turnover sees Doherty look to spread that ball wide. Good one too. Finds Marco Gaia. Only Harry Truman in the penalty area.
I was just going to say to you, Russ, don't underestimate the role that Cam Doherty's playing in this Tuggeranong side at the moment. He's almost playing as a third centre-back just in front of the other two. He's really just screening those other two centre-backs time and time and time again.
Mitch Stevens was saying at the start of the year they had to work on him in that position just to give him a bit of advice about what to do in there, but he seems to have settled in there comfortably.
He's playing a big role.
Nullifying Belconnen. That's a foul throw, isn't it? That's got to be a fine.
Got to be a fine.
Sam Smith, yep.
We mustn't practice throw-ins at Olympic. Sammy spending most of his juniors at Olympic before coming to Tuggeranong this year.
Seen a few foul throws this year. Maybe everybody's had so much time off they've forgotten how to do it. Max Melik hasn't.
Except he threw it to Tuggeranong.
Well, accuracy's not quite this. Was that's lesson 2. Get the basics right first, Frank. Free kick to Belconnen. Jordan Thurtell's only had the one save to make. Jacob Wiseman likewise ready. And we're into the final 3 minutes of the first half.
This is an important period though now. If one of these teams can manage to take the lead before half-time, then obviously the whole game turns on its head.
Adrian McCaw swapping passes with Bailey Toscan. And then finding Kofi Danning, who finds Luca Flores. And he can only find Harry Truman. Oh, swinging arm there from Truman, and the referee spotted it and given the free kick.
I think the first free kick probably could have gone to Tuggeranong, but the arms flailing after that went to Belconnen. But he definitely got held back, I reckon, and that's what Mitch Stevens is blowing up about, and the rest of the Tuggeranong side.
Yeah, it was Mickle in the challenge with him.
Yeah, I don't much understand why Sean Kitty's getting involved. I know he might be captain, but if I was Belconnen, I'd be hitting it down this side real quick.
Yeah, long way to go to make your point, isn't it? From right back. A 40, 50 metre jog for him across. Well, and as Frank said, important period of the game and a chance for Wells to launch this into the penalty area. Clements was the target. It's going to find its way to Toscan, but the whistle's gone for a free kick. It's been a bit bitty in the first half, hasn't it? There's been a lot of free kicks.
Well, maybe Sean's chat to Alex worked. It was always going to be one of those games, like you said, Russ. You know, the importance of the 3 points today for both these sides is massive. You know, it can either launch Belconnen to the top of the table, even with everybody having games in hand, and it can bring Tuggeranong right back into the mix.
Well, before today, everyone had played 3. Gungahlin were on 7 points. Canberra Croatia on 7 points. Canberra Olympic on 6. Tigers FC on 6. Belconnen United on 6. And Tuggeranong were on 3. So as you say, not a lot in it. Tuggeranong United 4 points off the top of the table.
And Sean Kitty's managed to get himself a free kick here.
An opportunity for Cam Doherty in the last throes of the first half. Into the final minute of action. Left-footed delivery, that's hanging up, and Thurtell's come for a piece of this, and he's not got it, and he's bouncing around. Bunell was in there too, and the whistle goes, and the Tuggeranong United faithful are wondering what for. And Sean Kitty just gave Alex McConaughey out of shot a yellow card. He found his card on the field and booked the official. Gazza did that once and got booking himself, I remember, way back in the day. I think for Rangers. Luckily, Alex McConaughey has a bit more of a sense of humour.
Let's be 100% honest, Russ. There'd be a long way to go before you see the strangest thing that's ever happened on this pitch with the referee, isn't it? Casting your mind back to last year.
Which one would that
be? The Rey Mysterio mask.
Oh, of course. I forgot about that.
You'd need to go pretty far to top that.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you listening that don't know, there was an intruder, let's call him, who came on in a Rey Mysterio mask to send off the referee. It was a one-man protest.
Yeah, actually, just going back to that, I don't think actually Tuggeranong did all that much wrong in the box there when Jordan came for that free kick from Cam Doherty. They got every reason to probably question what was the free kick for.
We're into stoppage time at the end of the first half. Kitty with a throw. Long one again. Gaia with a header. Wanted an indirect free kick, I think, for High Feet. Bunell tries to pick out Sam Smith, his Melik, and he's put it into the place where Smith was, but Dustin Wells getting on a bit on this surface, was never going to reach that.
I was going to blame the pitch. If you're going to say Dusty's old, that's up to you.
I did say on this surface. Not the ball he really wants to be chasing.
Interesting, even with that free kick that held up in the wind, sometimes it's actually easier to play into the wind than it is to play with it. You can overhit passes and they can come back to you. And I reckon that's something that, with the pace that Belconnen have got up front with Kofi and Luca Flores, that might be something they're looking to exploit in the second half.
Well, we only had a minute added on at the end of that half, and it was a interesting first 45 minutes. Chances at a premium, really. Jordan Thurtell called into action with Marco Gaia's save, and Jacob Wiseman making perhaps the best save of the match with the header from Adrian McCaw. But Frank, it's one of those halves. This game could go either way, really, couldn't it?
Yeah, and it's like I thought, Russ. I think it's going to be pretty tight. There might be one, maybe two goals in this second half. I just think it's going to be very tight, and whoever makes the least amount of mistakes will be the one that gets over the top, I reckon.
And maybe it comes down to who comes off the bench in the second half as a game changer, as it is at half-time at Merrow Synthetic. Not a lot of action in terms of goal mouth, but lots of intriguing subplots. And at half-time, no goals between Tuggeranong United and Belconnen United. It's 0-0. So welcome back to Melrose Synthetic. It's we've only had about 8 or 9 minutes at half-time. It's like a throwback to the old junior days. But both teams are keen and ready to get out there. The referee's still in the changing room.
Smart.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're not allowed in the changing rooms at half-time, so they're freezing out there. So they want to get on with the game. Just some other news elsewhere. A remarkable game in NPL2 down in Griffith. A couple of minutes to go there, and it was Ugali 6, White Eagles 4 last time we heard. So plenty of goals in NPL2.
Yeah, Darren Bailey come and told us and gave us a bit of a score update there.
He's used to play down that area, didn't he, with the Riverina Rhinos and Ugali as well. So he's keen for us to know. Some stats for you at half-time, Frank. You like a bit of stats. Shots on target, Tuggeranong United 2, Belconnen 1. And those two shots, Tuggeranong's only 2 efforts of the game. 4 shots off target as well for Belconnen. Percentage-wise, in terms of possession, Belco 57%, Tuggeranong's 43%. So pretty much what we thought.
Yeah, obviously we thought it was going to be tight. It is been tight. Both sides have had 5 or 6 minutes where they've dominated possession and territory. I think pretty much more of the same this second half, and just see if anyone can sort of get their nose in front by the end of the game.
No changes to either team. So Tuggeranong taking the goal to a left in this second half is Liam Mickle early on. The Tuggeranong lineup: Wiseman in goal, Kitty, Walsh, Bunell and Smith across the back, Doherty, Vink and Peterkin, Chirek, Gaia and Truman, the front three. Melik with the throw. He's going to get a second chance. Belconnen in Thurtell in goal, Melik, Curley, Clements and Toscan there back four. Midfield four, Adrian McCall, Wells, Luca McCall and Mickle. Up front, Dunning and Flores. Here is Mickle, looking to squeeze a pass through. Volleyed clear by Peterkin. Gaia giving chase. Clements volleying back. The rain coming down a little bit heavier as well, Frank.
Yeah. Probably won't make too much difference on this surface, to be honest. I mean, the ball does run on anyway, unless it really becomes torrential, and then it will hold it up a little bit. But, yeah, like I said, Russ, I think probably more of the same. Well,
the video that Darren Bailey showed us of Griffith, it looked really nice down there, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm not going back.
It's a long way away. Here's Peterkin in midfield. Front Vinkum, who was busy in the first half. Let that run for Kitty. Driving forward. This is how he set up a goal against Woden from that kind of run for Harry Truman to score last week.
Yeah, speaking of which, there was a very good goal scored yesterday from the Monero centre-back.
Robert Kachenko.
I thought he was outstanding yesterday. Set up the first, I thought, and the goal he took on for the second. The fact that he backed himself from coming out of centre-back to link up with his midfield.
Come back to that in a minute. And he was played out of position as well. He's been playing fullback for most of the time and slotted into that centre-back role because Eli Howe was injured. And did really well.
I don't mind seeing centre midfielders or midfielders playing at centre-back or even in the back four. It actually gives your team a fair bit of opportunity to play out. And he did that really well yesterday, I thought.
And he had promised a goal to Monero at the start of the season, so got one in a pre-season friendly. He didn't count. 7-0 win over White Eagles, but this one does. Helped his team to 3 points on this field yesterday. If we get a goal half as good as that, we'll be pleased this afternoon.
Yeah, still a lot of misplaced passes in midfield, both sides. I think they'll both be looking at this in the week coming up, thinking that we need to put that right.
Smith stabs it forward. Wins the challenge. Copped a sore one there as well. Here's Walsh. They've got an overload this side. Tuggeranong. It's come off Truman. Did he use his hand? I think he did. Did bounce up. Looked like handball, didn't he? He used to use his arm to just control the football. Yeah, I think Sammy Smith's got a sore one. I think someone's just trod on his toe there. But, yeah, I think that's where he's going to struggle a little bit down the left-hand side. He's not renowned for his left foot from his days back at the Olympics. So unless he's worked on that, probably limits his effectiveness on the left-hand side. Dunning. Come deep to collect. Flag goes up against Adrian McCall. Been called offside a lot this afternoon. Both sides with a reasonably high line and a very structured one. And at the moment, you'd see it feels like either a mistake or a piece of quality is going to separate these two teams. Here's Truman. Settled into life at NPL. Like the proverbial duck to water.
Does not look out of place at all, does he?
Chirek. I think Mitch Stevens will be wanting a little bit more out of Jono Chirek this half. Doherty just gives it away there, unfortunately for him. And here's Flores. Good ball wide to find Kofi Danning. Couldn't quite take it in his stride. Chance for him to deliver something in towards Flores, and that skipped off the surface, and Wiseman needed to be aware.
Yeah, Flores had read Cam Doherty's pass pretty well. But again, Kofi's just allowed that ball to run past him. As soon as you let the ball run past you on this surface, it does go.
Easy for Clements. Luca McCaw's layoff was picked off by Chirek. Doherty. Bunel. Wiseman looks for Chirek. Good flick on as well. Chases on between Gaia and Clements. Gaia got there first. Can he keep it in play? He can't. And that'll be a goal kick.
Back four from Belconnen looked pretty solid today, to be honest. Been really impressed with the left back. I'm actually impressed with Curly, who's playing next to Isaac Clements. Young man making his way into NPL. He's done really well. Looked very composed on the ball.
Tuggeranong's next fixtures after this one, they're home to Gungahlin in round 5, then they travel to the Riverside to play Monera, and they end up at Deakin Stadium against Canberra, Croatia. The Blue Devils, the Panthers at the Riverside next week, Canberra, Croatia at Deakin Stadium, and Tigers FC at home, wherever that may be. Ball forward is picked off, but it's going to come up for Doherty. Melik knocked it down. It was Toscan, rather, on that far side. Kitty wants a free kick, and he gets one. And Tuggeranong will again send their centre-backs into the penalty area. Well,
a question Sean Kitty running over 40 metres to talk to Alex McConaughey in the first half. I think he's won three.
I was about to say exactly the same thing.
Since then,
whatever he said to Alex McConaughey seems to have worked. And even the yellow card he gave him didn't.
Best 40 metres he's ever jogged in his life.
Dirty free kick is not good enough. It's going to come out to Kitty. Sensibly sends it wide to Doherty, who swings that one in. There's no one there in the Tuggeranong shirt gambling.
You know what? I think that's probably a bit of a compliment to Jordan Thurtell there. That ball's come out to Kitty, and I reckon in other games he would have just unleashed and just had a go. In these sort of conditions, tried his luck.
He thought about it, didn't he?
And I reckon he's looked up, or he's thought about who's actually standing in goals there, and gone the other way. Maybe I'm wrong, but...
Or maybe he just thought, I'm a bit brittle. If I strike this, he'll be out for the season. Been a bit injury-prone, Sean Kitty, isn't he? Unfortunately for him, he's racked up 72 Premier League games before today, and he would have been well over 100.
Yeah, he's been around for a long, long time, hasn't he?
Peterkin slides it through. Flag is up against Marco Gaia, and that finish, as good as it is, won't count. The let-off for Belconnen.
Yeah, and that does tend to happen. If you are trying to play out from the back, you generally do see the centre-back split, which creates a big gap in the middle of the park, in a dangerous area, if you do happen to turn the ball over. The ball got turned over quickly. Peterkin found Gaia in the centre of the park there, just on top of the box. Turned and shot, put it in.
Confident finish.
Great finish.
Counts for nothing. Free kick goes to the Blue Devils. A bit of running repairs. Nathan Curley getting patched up on that far side. Meanwhile, Smith wins a header, and Belconnen will play on with 10.
Yeah, and Luca Maycaw's just dropped in next to Isaac Clements.
Melik with a throw. Mickle finds Clements. Both McCaws playing full back at the moment. Adrian dropped into right back while Melik went forward.
And Curley's back on.
Just a bit of blood on the arm, I think, that Alex McConaughey wanted to get sorted.
The Belconnen bench are warming up, and Tuggeranong got a pretty good bench there. We've mentioned that before. It could be coming right into play soon.
Smith heads it clear. Peterkin nods it down. Melick stabs it back. Good win in the air from Doherty. Melick finds Wells. Helps it wide to Mickle. He's going to run at Sam Smith here. Liam Mickle. Going to fire something across the 6-yard box. Regan Walsh just stabs it clear. Get the feeling when either side really puts a bit of impetus into their attack, a bit of acceleration, that something might come of it. That's a bit loose, but Wells slides in.
They're also
not it wide.
Probably just being a bit cautious that they don't get caught on the break, Russ, I guess.
Danning looks to lift that over the top. It should be easy for Wiseman, and that's half the battle, isn't it? I mean, both sides want to go and win this game, but they understand how the importance of this one. We mentioned the run-in for these sides. It's not easy for either of them. There's no easy games, really, in the Premier League here. Hoisted clearance up towards Gaia, who would challenge, and Clements stands strong and at the expense of a Tuggeranong corner. And he got 2 in the first half, Tuggeranong.
Yeah, so a big chance here now. Tuggeranong get the tallest forward. Regan Walsh looks like coming out here to take the cross or the corner.
Does have a good set piece in his armoury, Regan Walsh. Chirek has some good height. Ewan Peterkin too. Harrison Bunell also there. A whole cluster of players on the top of the penalty area. Yeah. Nobody at all inside the box at the moment. So this is going to be dropped just outside the 6-yard box. You would think in a whole raft of options. What can Regan Walsh pick out? Everyone makes their move now. And it's bounced across the 6-yard box and there was no one there. It's hooked clear by Toscan, I think he might have been. Smith returns it. It's going to come out to Vienkum. Sends it wide to Kitty, but that skips off the surface again. And great delivery that was. And if anybody from Tuggeranong had gambled, there was a real opportunity to open the scoring.
Yeah, interesting. To be honest, Regan probably might be a bit disappointed with his not being able to clear the first person on that corner. But the fact that it's crossed the 6-yard box and no one's anywhere near it from Tuggeranong, they've just got to back themselves a little bit there. That's when you do roll the dice.
Yeah, Germany, a goal-scoring centre-forward, would be putting themselves in that position just for that particular moment. Doty sends it downfield. Wells picks it up in midfield. Peterkin lamps it down.
And that's where you see the difference, I think, between some of the sides that are near the top of the table compared to some of the sides that are battling out, trying to break into that top 4. Yeah, you'd see a Dominici or a Popovic or a Barrett or a Felipe or, these sort of guys. Or Mark Shields busting themselves to get into that area.
Good little turn from Truman in amongst that. And Gaia wins another corner. And like I said, Tuggeranong only had 2 in the first half. They've already had a couple. 3, I think, now in the second period. Another chance for Walsh. Maybe someone will gamble on this occasion.
And it's been a good period for Tuggeranong since the restart.
12 minutes of the second half played. Still no goals here. But you get the feeling we're going to get one soon. Walsh with the latest set piece. Deeper one this time. Thurtell's made his mind up to come, and you can see how the wind held that up for him. Good, confident and decisive goalkeeping there from Jordan Thurtell. And that kick, though, not quite as good as the stuff he did beforehand.
No.
Out in towards the car park, that one. Here's Doherty. Smith. And it's been picked up by Mickle. Need to be careful here. Tuggeranong, Bunell. They've done well in the end. Vienkum. Now there's room for Chirek here, and Tuggeranong have numbers up in attack. Marco Gaia. Stood up by Toscan. Wants some support from his midfield. It's late in coming in Cam Doherty. And they're forced to go back to Bunell, and he's in trouble here. He's lost out to Flores. Here's Danning. Opportunity for Belconnen. Kofi Danning can pick the right pass. Sends Flores wide, and he slips on the surface. A little let off for Tuggeranong there, and a little let off for Harrison Bunell.
Yeah, that's a few times I reckon he's been caught in possession. He's just not confident to play the ball forward. as confident playing the ball forward as he is playing it back to his keeper, and I think that's something that he'll need to address over the course of the season, and as in the future to become a really good centre back.
Talking a good centre back play, nice header there from Nathan Curley. He slotted in quite nicely, Curley, and he played 3 NPL games, including this one. Here he is volleying that clear.
And it does say a lot for the the youth grades and the development that Belconnen have always prided themselves in. Can't believe we ended up winning the club championship last year, but that's probably the first time that Belconnen haven't won it in probably a decade, I reckon, Russ.
Been a fair old while. They do tend to have a lot of success in the junior grades. It's a decent ball forward, but Melik was back there, and Guys tripped Leon Mickle.
I mean, they've got a great catchment area, and I think only sort of matched with, by sort of Woden area and the Tuggeranong area and the Gungahlin area now. But they've done it. They've always done it well. Like your Bell South, your Bell North, your Bell West. Leading into NPL and playing for Belconnen United.
And they've generally given youngsters opportunities, haven't they, Belconnen, when they've been around?
Yep. Yeah, whether that's been Daniel Greenwich as coach, Steve Forshaw as coach, and now with Paul Maker as coach, I think they've all sort of used that that academy sort of system that they've got at Belconnen.
Well, a fair few of these youngsters that we're seeing out here today, and they're on the bench as well for Belconnen, did get their debut under Steve Forshaw last year.
Correct, and that's where you pay a lot of compliments to the previous coaches and the previous 20s coaches. People like Lou Gaspari and these sort of guys that have coached, and even Yuli De Silva that have coached, at Belconnen, have done a great job in mentoring these young players, and now they're ready for first grade.
And not letting themselves down. Quarter of an hour gone in the second half, live on Bar TV Sports, the home of grassroots football in Australia. Melrose Synthetic, the venue, a Tuggeranong home game. I'll say that in inverted commas. Moved from Canberra 2 to this venue. Tuggeranong 0, Belconnen 0. Chances few and far between. Both sides cancelling each other out all across the park at the moment. Peterkin looks for the run of Gaia, and that's just skipped away off the surface as well. Marco Gaia was interested briefly.
Yeah, but again, you can just see, even when Tuggeranong were playing out, the fact that they've got a right footer playing on the left-hand side doesn't make it easy for them to continue that ball down the wing. He generally needs to cut back onto his right, and that's probably something that Paul will notice as well.
Clement's confidence in Thurtell. They give him the ball back. McCaw. Clements again. Finds Adrian McCaw. Curley to Luca McCaw. Now Melik. Mickle. It's 4 of the youngsters combining, and Mickle conceding the free kick.
Yeah, good defence there from Sam Smith winning the ball, and then Marco Gaia winning the free kick. So another chance for Tuggeranong to get some players forward.
Well, the subs are warming up, but we haven't seen any real movement from either side just yet. Doherty with this latest free kick. Four green and white shirts up on the edge of the area. That swung towards Chirek on the far post. Clements beats him in the air. Kitty with the drive, but cut across the ball and was always fading away from goal.
Maybe that's why he didn't shoot.
I think that probably sums it up. I mean, Sean Kitty, 72 Premier League games, 2 goals prior to today.
Is that it?
Yeah, only the 2.
Okay.
So maybe that's why he doesn't shoot very often. Mickle, robbed by Smith. Good firm tackle, finds Gaia. Slides it through and didn't find its way to Chirek because Clements read it, and off he goes. Getting a bit of a nosebleed, Isaac Clements. And here's a chance for Jamie Vienkum to run at the Belconnen defence. Pulls that ball back. Here's Truman, good first touch, and it almost opened up for him, but well covered by Luca McCaw. And the flag is up against Kofi Dunning for offside.
And that's always a danger when your centre-back gets caught in possession. You leave a pretty big gap in the middle. And it was almost, if Harry Truman had actually overrun that and let that go past him, Peterkin was running in the back post unmarked.
Yeah, he didn't maybe didn't get a call.
Maybe he should have said something, I think. Yeah, because really, We should be able to hear that from here if he's going to call for it, Russ.
100%. I mean, like you said, if he'd stepped over that ball, I mean, you can't blame the young lad. He's scored 3 and 3, and he's thinking, well, I'll get a touch here and a shot away. And it was only the alertness, I guess, of Luca McCall that stopped that happening. But Ewan Peterkin was in a brilliant position, just behind him to, well, probably sweep Tuggeranong into the lead, you'd think. We're going to get a change. Belconnen United first to roll the dice. And it's John O'Lear, I think, who's coming on.
And Adrian Maycor's coming over to the right-hand side.
Because Leo Mickle's making way. Scored a Premier League goal, John O'Lear. Bit of a reshuffle tactically. Flores looks to find Maycor. Flores again. It's going to bounce to Flores. Off on a run, tried the shot, and good block, Doherty for the corner.
I was thinking it might have been a bit similar to the goal he scored against Woden there for a second. He
danced his way through, didn't he?
Yeah, he got his way through a few defenders and slotted it home for the 1-0 win.
Important win, that one. Here is Flores. Gaia for Tuggeranong. It's coming together between Wells and Kiddy off the ball. Chase on for Viencombe. Toscan back there defending. It's asked a fair bit of Thurtell, that one, and well, he's done exceptionally well, the goalkeeper. Incredible pass, to be fair. Well, some back pass from Bailey Toscan, wasn't it? Deal with that, Jordan. Okay.
I thought he did all right to start off with, to get it back to Thurtell, but yeah, obviously overhit it a bit, and Jordan Thurtell with his feet.
Exceptional piece of goalkeeping. Flores getting a lot of ball there, and Sam Smith rather is all over his back, and simple free kick given. Clements has gone early with it, and there's a chance for McCall to bring it forward. Sliding it through towards Danning. It was Betty Toscan, I beg your pardon.
It's got to be pinpoint, doesn't it? It's really got to hit feet.
Bunel for Tuggeranong. Doherty. Gaia's gone early. Flag stays down. Marco Gaia onside. Only Turek in support. Truman coming up now. Comes for Turek. Goes a long way back to Doherty. Tries to tee up Peterkin, who hits one. And did it nick off of Luca McCaw? It must have, because it's a corner.
It's been a few times, Russ. The ball's gone into John O'Turek, and he's probably just taken a little bit long and allowed the defence for Belconnen to get back in numbers. Happened on the other side of the field. It's just happened again there. I think Mitch would just like to see him be a bit more decisive and just a bit more confident and back himself and just do things a little bit quicker.
May have spun and had a hit there. I mean, the layoff was asking a lot. Walsh with the corner. Deep one towards the far post. Far too deep. It's out towards Anthony Corder, who's always around with his camera. Tuggeranong United stalwart. Loyal Football Co. On Instagram, you can follow him, see some good pictures.
It's actually been really refreshing to see the use of social media from a lot of the clubs here in Canberra, Russ, and a lot of the volunteers that take to social media with photos and the like.
Good flick on by Flores. Wiseman needs to come and make a decision, and made a good one. That might bounce through towards Chirek. We're midway through the second half. Still no goals. Still no closer to finding out who's going to get the points, if any on. Well, that's a ricochet around, make a decision. Take a guess, that one. Smith with the throw. Curley with the volley. Flores battling with Bunel. Good header that from Toscan. Chance for Lear. First time we've seen him. He squeezes that one through to Flores. Wants the free kick, he's going to get one as well. Chance.
Yeah, it's good header though, like you said. Not just a matter of clearing it, it was put it in a direction, put it in a space where Aaliyah can run into it. And now got a free kick.
Got a stray ball on the field here as well, closest to us, Frank.
You itching to go out there and kick it?
Go and kick it, yeah.
The only problem is you have to get back up on your scuff.
It's a lot, yeah. I mean, that's not going to happen. Well, Dustin Wells is lining this one up. Does he fancy it from range? It's a fair old way out, but it is in his locker. And Wells does try his luck. And as Frank mentioned earlier, hasn't found his range this season. Still got the confidence to have a pop from that distance, though. Won by Melik. Flicked on by McCaw. Dirty nods it down for Smith. Truman. Kiddy. Touch off his knee. And Toscan thought about going back to Thurtell. Instead, concede to throw. Tuggeranong looking to make a double change, it would seem, on that far side. Smith. Gaia. Tried a shot on the turn. Flores. Adrian McCaw. Runner outside him is Wells. Sweeps the ball in and it's come off Bunell.
It's a good idea, though, from Dusty. And it's actually one of the better balls that we've seen played all day from Adrian McCaw into Wells that he could run onto. Not overhitting it, so he can still run onto it and putting it into space.
It looks like Mitch Stevens is going to bring on both Daniel Fulton and Andrew Slavic in a minute.
And they're both very good, coming off the bench. You've got two very experienced players that have played in big games, scored big goals.
It's Harry Truman making way.
And Turek, I think.
And Chirac as well. A couple of changes up front.
Having said that, I was surprised to see Marco Guy deployed up front this afternoon, but he's actually done all right. He's really put himself about. He's asked a lot of questions of the Belconnen defence. And I'm pretty certain that both Fulton and Slavic will do the same.
First of all, they need to defend. Wells lists that over the top, looking for the run of Lear.
And interesting, both those players have played a lot of fullback as well, so it's not as if they can't defend.
Well, Danny Fulton's got a trick or two up his sleeve, hasn't he? Former Futsalrua international.
He does. He's a very good player. Even nicer guy.
Here's Luca McCaw. Ooh, he's got a bit of a swing there. Going to get himself a yellow card, I believe, Luca McCaw, for that one. First Belconnen player into the book this afternoon.
Yep, and now he's got to survive the next 19, 20 odd minutes on a yellow.
Well, young Harrison Bunell's done that quite well, hasn't he? He got a really early yellow card and he's survived so far. Can Tuggeranong snatch something from this free kick? They're going to go long, up towards the edge of the area. Peterkin was surrounded by blue shirts and he's won his team a corner just by his sheer presence there. United have had numerous set-piece opportunities in this second half, the Tuggeranong version. Marco Guy has gone across to take the corner. I think he's going to have to cede responsibility to Regan Walsh here. Get himself into that penalty area. Walsh, flatter delivery, sliced up in the air. It's a dangerous situation. Guy won the header. Volleyed clear in the end by Bailey Toscan. Walsh has not been at his best with his deliveries this afternoon.
Those flat ones do create some issues though, because any false touch in there from Belconnen player just skims across the face of goal, and we saw that earlier. I'm sure Regan would be a bit disappointed though with the way he's been putting the ball in today.
General all-round play's been reasonable though. Here's Bunell. Opens up the body to find Kiddy. And again, his pass skips away off the surface. Just a reminder, next week we are scheduled to be at the Riverside on Saturday afternoon for Belconnen versus Panthers, and on Sunday, Tuggeranong versus Gungahlin at Canberra. Substitution, as I was talking there, that's Luca McCaw off. And Ethan Stamatis comes on, so the second change for the Blue Devils. sure Frank Casher will be with me at one of those games next week.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. It's a big
When
call.
and when we're going to be, wait and see.
It's actually a big call there from Maycore. Take Luke and Maycore off. I suppose. I think the yellow card would have contributed to that, but I thought he's been playing reasonably well. So
Smith gets away from Stamatis rather easily and slides it towards Slavic. Good interception at the back there by Isaac Clements. Ooh. Saw one for Rico Walsh, almost did the splits there. Smith away from Curley. Slavic takes over. And again, for the second time in a couple of minutes, Clements denies Andrew Slavic.
Yep, and Smith got forward, and now that left-hand side of Tuggeranong is a little bit exposed. The Peterkin's dropped in there.
Good cover from Walsh on Danning.
Unless Smith has actually moved into midfield and they've actually made a swap, because he stayed where...
Does look like they have done. Oh, there's a mistake there by Bunell. Here's Danning looking to make him pay. And to be fair, the youngster did well to recover.
Yeah, but that's again, that's what we were talking about before, about when he's trying to play out. He's had a few intercepted when he's trying to play the ball forward.
Ball swung in. Peterkin nods it away. Down to Flores. Now Dustin Wells. Straight into Fulton.
Did well, Daniel Fulton there to win a goal kick. Like he might have had his hand up when he blocked Dustin Wells' cross into the box there. No, it looks like Smith has come back to the left-hand side.
Maybe it was just momentarily that they've changed it around just to see what happens, or maybe just Sam Smith was knackered and he couldn't get back in time. Tactical, we'll say.
Sammy's actually got a lot of pace, and he's actually got a good shot in him and can take on players. So he's been a good pick-up for Tuggeranong from Olympic.
Curley's chip. Melik did well there to find his central defender, who volleys it clear. Bunell just the little touch for dirty. Not sure he wanted it back from his skipper in the middle there.
Let's start with the Olays here at the moment.
Here he is again, Bunell. Smith away from Stamatis, away from Wells. And then both Tuggeranong runners went left and Sam Smith went right. Ball. Flores now flicks it onto himself, chased with Bunell, and there was Jacob Wiseman. You like that in your goalkeeper, don't you? Decisive.
I've had Rory and Ange. Anytime I see them coming out of the box, I don't know if decisive is the word I'll be using, Russ.
That's probably why you're up here now, mate. You've had enough of that. His guy sending it forwards. You had about 10 years of Ange, and then the one season he's not playing, it's the one you're not in coach.
Good times. But yeah, actually, I think that's something that Wiseman actually does as well as anyone in the competition, is actually read the game and get out and look at clearances and things like that.
Into the final 15 minutes. Still we wait. Haven't had a goalless draw this season. So I can't remember. We were talking off air. I can't remember the last time there was a goalless draw. We didn't remember Canberra FC and as they were then, and Canberra Olympic drawing 0-0. Recovered.
As they were then.
As they were then.
As they were then.
Yeah. Drew 0-0. You were in coach then, weren't you?
Yeah, we all about bringing the crowds back. 0-0 draw.
Well, that's what I say. I don't remember many of them because they're not very memorable, are they? I like to put some highlights up on my social media pages. There's not too many today. Might be a couple of saves going in there. Unless someone can find something in the last quarter of an hour. Walsh puts that one out into the car park as well.
To be perfectly honest, Russ, I think the coffee we got was probably the highlight of the minute. Actually, Wiseman's save in the first half was outstanding.
Still 15 minutes or so to go. Here's Flores looking to make us eat our words as Bunell thunders that forward. He claimed that's a shot on target, maybe.
That's pretty close.
Third, a long way from goal. What can he do with this distribution? Decent looking effort out towards Lear, and the flag goes up again for the 11th time this afternoon.
Yeah, wouldn't that frustrate you if you're Paolo McCall? You know, Purtell's hit a beautiful 60-metre pass to your left winger, who's had plenty of time to get back and onside. The worst they could have done there was win a corner, and instead we've got a Tuggeranong free kick for offside.
2 other games were scheduled for this weekend. Canberra Croatia versus Canberra Olympic, and Gungahlin United versus Tigers FC, both falling foul of the weather.
Just those 2 tiny games.
Reasonable matches, 1 against 4 and 2 against 3. The top 4 in action.
But let's be honest, Olympic versus Canberra Croatia isn't 1 against 4 or whatever, or 2 against 3. It's it always means a lot more than that, and I think and now obviously with Gungahlin winning the grand final last year, anyone that plays them, especially a team like Cooma or Tigers now, it means a lot more than just a position on the table.
And when they're played, those 2, whether it be midweek or a little bit later, they will have a huge bearing on the makeup of the top 4, as would a winner here. A late goal for either of these teams would stand them in good stead with 3 rounds to go. That one's flicked through. Stamatis was interested. Smith got an important foot in twice. Fulton's layoff.
That was a decent ball into the box too.
Held up, didn't it? And that's a ball forward, and Guy's not going to get on the end of that.
That goes back to what I was saying around the first half, is sometimes it's actually easier to play into the wind because you can overhit those passes. 10
minutes to go. Live on Bar TV Sports. Still we await the first goal of the afternoon if we're going to get one. And that one's coming together, and a free kick given. Saw one.
You could hear that from here, Russ. And it didn't sound like a ball.
I don't think there was much ball in it. Regan Walsh on young Bailey Toscan. Escaped sanction though.
Good to see the young guy back up.
He'll be feeling that tomorrow morning.
Oh, I'd be feeling it, yeah. If it wasn't so cold, I'd be feeling it now, but
if you're Dustin Wells and you want to deliver a ball, this is almost the perfect position for him to be swinging this in.
Isaac Clements, I reckon.
Wells lifts that towards far post, towards where Clements won the header. That's why they pay you the dollars, Frank. And McCaw has volleyed Marco Gaia.
Yeah. Marco has done a good job there. You get the relieving free kick here for Tuggeranong, but
going to get a change as well, Frank. It's
Dustin Wells.
Dustin Wells coming off, is it? And he's coming to get some instructions, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't have. Yeah.
Well, it looks like we're going to get a change, but who's it going to be? I haven't seen anyone around.
Tuggeranong player looks like he's getting ready to come on. Yeah, well, that surprised me when I saw Dusty running over to the sideline. That's a big call.
Well, Sam Smith's gone off.
Yeah. Maybe he was feeling a bit tired, Russ.
And Felici.
Daniel Felici coming on.
Yep. To replace him.
And those two both played in majority of the time in Olympics 23's campaign last year.
I think Mitch Stevens was seeing if he could substitute Dustin Wells there. Doherty sends that out. A bit of a trivia that Tony Oliveira sent through to us. Talking about players that have come through the system, all ACT under-12 schoolboys over the past 6 years. Luca McCaw, Tuscan, Mikkel, Melik, Leah Stamatis and Jacob Wiseman all went through that programme, and now all playing first-grade football as well.
Was that under Tony?
He didn't say.
Okay.
But it could have been because he's been involved in those teams for a number of years.
Oh, well, he was my first proper coach back in under-9s at St Edmunds, to be honest.
Done a lot for rising footballers.
And rising football coaches.
And rising football coaches.
And commentators.
And commentators and everybody else. Coached me as well for a bit, Tony Oliveira. Into the penalty area, cut back for Danning, and the flag is out. The short spell before I got injured in Capital League side under him.
Special hello out there to Tony and his family.
He's already sent us a message earlier today saying he's enjoying his chicken soup and toast in front of a fire, mate.
Gee, he must be getting old. He's bragging chicken soup.
It's probably because he knows we haven't got any coffee here this afternoon. Here's Fulton for Tuggeranong. Can someone get us a goal to warm us up? Finds Birnkham on the overlap. He gets a shot away, but there wasn't enough power in it. He may have got a deflection. It didn't. It's a goal kick.
That's some ball there from Daniel Fulton. Again, he's one of the guys that has come on and can read the surface straight away. Put into space that can be run onto. Disappointing with the finish there. You want to see someone hit the target at the very least.
7 minutes remaining, plus stoppage time. Doherty wins the header. Nodded down to Gaia. Felici's first involvement.
I know we're a few minutes away, Russ, but what does a draw do for both these teams?
Funny you should ask, Frank.
It wasn't even scripted.
Belconnen United would go to 7 points, and that will put them third on the table, having played a game more than those beneath them, of course. And Tuggeranong will go to 4. They'd remain 6th, a couple of points behind Tigers FC and Canberra Olympic. So you think a win is more pressing for Tuggeranong than it would be for the Blue Devils at the moment. But in the scheme of things, with the game in town, I guess Belconnen United might be happy with the point with the top 4 playing each other and taking points off each other. Will put them back in the mix. But at this stage of the season, with 3 rounds to go still, I guess it doesn't do either side much of a favour.
Not really. And the other thing is, Belconnen have got aspirations to make that top 4. They're now, if they do end up just with the 1 point from today, they're relying on Tuggeranong to get a point or so from some of the other sides that are vying for that top 4 position. And we already know that Tuggeranong have lost to Tigers and Olympic.
Beaten heavily in both those games as well. They have Gungahlin at home next week, like we said, and then they play Canberra Croatia in the final game of the season.
They have got a good record against Canberra Croatia, though.
They do.
Over the years.
Belconnen, as I mentioned, Monero Panthers, Canberra Croatia and Tigers to come. Tuggeranong looking to swing that ball into the penalty area. Clements met it. Toscan volleys away. Peterkin nods it down. Slavic. Back to goal though. Can he swing a ball in? Decent cross too. Gaia might retrieve the situation. But Melik stood strong. Here comes Stamatis. Turns into Doherty and then left a foot in on Doherty, and he's going to give himself a yellow card, the substitute here.
Yeah. Tell you what though, even that last few passages of play, you can see that the quality that Fulton brings to the side, and even Slavic with that ball across the face of goal. They're 2 senior players that I think will be knocking on the door for a starting spot next week for sure.
These are the moments you don't like as a coach, is it? You just make your final substitution, bring on Daniel Felici, and then down goes a player. 5 minutes to go. Cam Doherty's going to have to suck this one up. Yeah,
that was a pretty heavy challenge too. Not malicious. It
was on the blind side. I think Stamatis didn't see him there, right, did he? Turned and caught him.
Doesn't mean they don't hurt as much. But it wasn't, it'll be one that Cam will definitely feel.
So just a reminder, next week live on Bar TV Sports, should the weather help us out, we'll be at the Riverside for a Belconnen home game. It's been switched to that venue. Belconnen United versus Monero Panthers at 3 p.m. on Saturday the 15th of August. And on Sunday, we're due for Tuggeranong United versus Gungahlin United, scheduled at the moment for Canberra 2, but forecast is for a bit of rain again this week. Wait and see what happens.
I noticed that the grounds have been closed at least until Tuesday morning, so teams training on grass tomorrow will have to do without or make other arrangements.
Maybe gives the fields a chance to recover in time for matches next weekend. Free kick. Walsh swings that in towards where Peterkin was on the far post. Nice win. And again from Belconnen at the back. Is the break on here for Wells to find Danning. Kiddy has been his shadow for most of the afternoon, and he's defended him pretty well. Wells wanted the return. Wasn't going to get it. 3 minutes to play. And can you see a winner, Frank? Putting you on the spot.
To be perfectly honest, if...
do either side deserve to win?
Probably not. Tuggeranong have actually shown a little bit more this half than they did in the first half, and I thought Belconnen were the most likely in the first half, and I would have thought they might have gone on and won this, but they haven't really created all that much in the second half, to be perfectly honest, and Tuggeranong have looked to have the better chances and at least created a bit more.
Wells.
Having said that, Belconnen will probably score now.
Well, I mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. Tuggeranong have not drawn a league match since Saturday, 7 July 2018. That's 2 years ago. And it was at this venue, I think. Or may well have been at Woden. It's away to Woden Western, in any case. That's 2 years without a draw. We're 2 minutes away from getting one here. Unless one of these sides can come up with a late winner. Felici in towards Fulton. Back to Felici again. Doherty wants it. Felici's turning himself into a circle at the moment. He's got it back again now. And he's left it a bit short. Battle there with Nelson Curley rather.
And again, I just think the value of having a left-sided player on the left side that can swing things in with their left foot.
Felici again. There's no room at all on this near side. Fulton. Touch from Doherty. Wells is going to pick up the free kick, the loose ball. It's going to find its way to Danning. Flores has made the run ahead, and that was a really important foot from Regan Walsh. Now Viencombe tries to find Slavic, and he's got goal side momentarily here. Of Bailey Toscan, fires it across the goal. Important touch from Thurtell, doesn't come for Fulton, who was sniffing around. And Jordan Thurtell, you could see the look in his eyes when he palmed that out, and he recovers well.
I was watching Daniel Fulton make that run into the box and thinking this could be it. Thurtell got a hand on it and desperate to recover that, the parry, and
at the other
end, could have been the other end.
Yeah, the other end. Good interception from Regan Walsh. Doherty finds Walsh. He sends it forward.
Isaac Clements pulled up a bit short after that back pass.
Volleyed away by Felici. Lost a few balls in the car park today. Into stoppage time at the end of 90 minutes. No goals so far. Peterkin. Kiddy lifts that forward. There's no one there to chase. Easy for Thurtell. How much of a hurry is he going to be in to win it for his team?
He's looking forward.
Long ball down the middle towards Flores. It's going to find its way all the way through to his opposite number. Jacob Wiseman, who first half save is becoming more and more important as the game goes on. Curley sends that back. Wells. Wide to Toscan, who's up there with the man of the match today, Bailey Toscan.
Yeah, outstanding first half. Probably a little bit quieter in the second half.
Here he is again. Tried to force the ball through. We played a minute of time added on. Kiddy's missed that one, but Doherty's back to help is made out.
There's probably another candidate for player of the match. Cam Doherty's been tireless in his work for Tuggeranong today.
Flores. Viencombe down.
And he's been neat too, Viencombe, I thought. And Clements has been important for Belconnen. Well, Flores has been the one that's looked most likely, I think, though, from Belconnen this week.
He has been all year. You weren't too far off with that. Curley's ball wide. Chance for Belconnen to load it into the penalty area. Danning is challenging Wiseman with a good fist to get it away towards Viencombe, where Wells caught him, and Dustin Wells is going to pick up a yellow card as well.
Yeah, just making sure that they don't break. Belconnen had a number of players forward there, so...
Third Blue Devil to see yellow today, alongside Stamatis and Luca McCaw.
Just one of those challenges that you can call it cynical, but it's clever.
Well, we are into the last chance saloon for sure. 2 minutes of stoppage time gone. There can't be much more. Jacob Wiseman's going to smash this as far as he can down the park. Look for a Tuggeranong head. Peterkin got a touch. It's going to find its way to Gaia, goal side of Stamatis, but the touch let him down as it was. He was offside in any case. The flag had gone up on the far side.
The young Stamatis might have had his heart in his mouth a little bit there. As soon as Marco Gaia got the wrong side of him, probably fortunate to see the offside flag go up. And
whether or not Alex McConaughey would have played the offside, we saw in the first half. He didn't. Here's Fulton, and they're sleeping here at the back, Belconnen, and Fulton's in here momentarily on his own though. Little futsal turn from Fulton, and he forces a save out of Thurtell at his near post.
Outstanding play from Daniel Fulton. Didn't give up on a lost cause there. Belconnen just switched off slightly at the back there, the young guy, Curley. Fulton, and then with an outstanding piece of skill and improvisation to get a shot away. Thurtell needed to be at his best there to stop that shot coming in at the near post.
Well, this is probably it. 3 minutes plus the stoppage time gone. Regan Walsh to take.
Do you leave 3-on-1 at the back here, Mitch?
Well, they have done. Probably don't need to, do they? Don't think it'll be enough time to break. Final chance of the match. Walsh swings it in towards where Thurtell is. It's too easy for the goalkeeper. Alex McConaughey's looked at the watch. Thurtell's looking for someone to hit. He finds Luca Flores, but Alex McConaughey brings this one to a close. And as far as 0-0s go, Frank, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, probably. Look, I think both coaches will probably accept that there's a lot of misplaced passes. Whether that's a surface that we're playing here at Melrose, and they're both teams are unfamiliar with it. Whether it's the conditions that made it just a little bit slicker. But there are probably just a few things that both coaches will be working on to just make sure that the accuracy and the quality in the midfield and the build-up is better than this from what they produced today. But difficult conditions, not a huge pitch. It doesn't, it does make it hard to get that break and to get that killer pass. But look, both sides were good for their point. They both deserve at least something out of this game. So look, probably a fair result in the end.
Thanks for joining me this week, Frank. We'll be back again next week. Well, that point puts Belconnen United up to third place above Canberra Olympic and Tigers, who were inactive today. And for Tuggeranong United, it's their 4th point in 2 weeks, so they're heading in the right direction as well. They stay 6th, but within touching distance of the top 4. As it is, though, there was a great save from Jacob Wiseman in the first half to deny McCaw with the header, and at the other end Jordan Thurtell was called into action from Marco Guy's strike. Other than that, there was very few chances for either side, and it's reflected in the final scoreline at a wet and windy Melrose Synthetic, where it's finished in the NPL round 4. Tuggeranong United 0, Belconnen United 0.